Today, on Be Something Wonderful. After this, you will never look at 3D reality the same ever again. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful here in Las Vegas. Big video for you today. It comes with a couple comments that were on yesterday's video, where we talked about busting the biggest reality creation myth there is. The idea that 3D reality needs to catch up with you. The idea that there's some reality out there, conditions that need to catch up to your state of being, right? Where the reason why your manifestation hasn't come yet, we look at it like, oh, it has to catch up. 3D conditions have to catch up. Remember that your experience is the only reality. So as you create an experience, an assumption that conditions need to catch up with you, you create a reality of it not being here yet, a reality where the conditions will eventually catch up, the reality where what you want and desire is in the future. It's all now. That's what we talked about yesterday. There's a link below if you want to see the full video on the whole idea of timing. Even someone had a question on divine timing, and I've done videos on that. There's a big playlist on divine timing and timing in general and manifesting your desires. But remember, this person said, well, I'm not waiting for my desire, and I feel pretty good, and I expect it to come. And so I don't understand then why it's not coming. And then this person went on to say, but I do believe in divine timing. Well, remember, there's your answer. You believe there's a time, some time that's not determined by you, that it will manifest and it will be in your experience. And remember, God's timing or divine timing is now. Check out videos that I've done on this. We really debunk this idea of divine timing. It's right now. There's no timing outside of your experience of reality, what you determine. And this particular subscriber wrote this. I've divided this up into subscriber 1 and subscriber 2 because they contrast. These comments go perfectly together as we contrast these ideas. Subscriber 1 is also a member. They say this, I get it. Your experience is the cause of your reality, not the effect. So whatever you're aware of experiencing is actually causing you to experience that very thing. Very powerful insight here. This whole idea, this person is understanding that cause equals effect, that your experience of reality is reality. That you're looking at reality as reality. You're experiencing the 3D world as the 3D world. Big, powerful comment here. Then someone wrote under that comment, I'm not sure if it's a her or a he, on that comment, subscriber 2 says, you've got that backwards with a LOL, lots of laughs or laughing out loud, right? Believing that person's got it backwards, right? And this person goes on to say, external experimental realm, anything and everything that you can perceive, is the world of effect. The inner world, which is actually everywhere because there's only this, only one forever moment, is the world of cause. So hear this, neither one are wrong necessarily, right? It's not about right or wrong. It's about one is a wider view, a higher view, a greater understanding that subscriber 1 has than subscriber 2, right? Actually, subscriber 1 doesn't have it backwards at all. They actually understand it from a higher perspective. Subscriber 2 is still dividing up reality between external experience and eternal experience, between cause and effect, right? Between an inner world and an outer world. Even while they're acknowledging there's only one, they're still dividing it up into this idea of duality, that there's something I've got to manifest from out there in the 3D world to me, right? And I've got to create it within, and then I'll see it or I'll get it in the outside. You're still dividing it up. Actually, subscriber 1 didn't get it backwards. They got it upwards. In other words, they're in the vertical, understanding that cause equals effect. It's not backwards at all. This person has the higher understanding, the greater realization that cause equals effect, that inner equals outer, that perceiving equals the perceived, that the external equals the internal. They got it. They understood the message of that video very powerfully. So I want to go on with this. Subscriber 2, on the other hand, is still looking at and perceiving reality, or in other words, experiencing it in terms of forward or backward, in terms of internal or external, in terms of cause equals effect, inner world versus outer world, while still acknowledging that there's no difference. They say there's only one, but they still see it that way. And that's why we don't see, that's why we stay in this state of waiting for our manifestations, believing we're doing something wrong. That's why it's not coming. You're looking from the horizontal linear experience. You're looking outwards at 3D reality and upwards, going, where is it? I don't see it anywhere, right? And you're looking for the inner cause of the external experience. Do you see it? Versus saying external equals internal. There's no difference. Cause equals effect. You're looking for what techniques or processes or assumptions or thoughts and feelings, emotions. What's going on here? Maybe it's something I'm thinking or feeling or doing that's something wrong. Do you see it? That's the difference. You're looking, that subscriber 1 did not have it backwards at all, right? The subscriber 1 is in the vertical, looking in as reality, not out and up. Where is it? They're looking inward and as it. The experience and the cause itself, they're looking as the experience. They're not looking for the experience. Do you hear this? They're looking as the experience because experience is the only reality, right? They're not looking at the experience or for the experience. They're looking as reality, not at reality. This is big. Let's uncover this. Remember, reality, what is reality? It's that great self-aware intelligence that we call God, experiencing itself. It's contemplating itself. That's how God creates. It just contemplates itself. It's conscious of itself. It's aware of itself. That's the great I am. That would be equivalent to when we talk about levels of creation, which I did a playlist on. You can see that on the playlist, the levels of creation. That's level 7. That's the great isness of reality. That's the great unseen source, the absolute. That's all power, all knowing, the great isness. I am God and there is no other. In other words, I am cause and I am effect. I am the beginning and I am the end. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. There's only one source, one awareness, one experience, and it's one reality. That's level 7. Then level 6 is God's Son, or you as I am awareness. I am awareness of being that great isness of reality. That God-given gift to be aware as source, as all that is, to know itself experientially. Now you can know yourself through experience. But that experience is reality. Do you see it? To know yourself experientially, this is big, through infinite perspectives, infinite viewpoints, infinite vantage points and experiences. That's level 6. It's not separate from the one, right? God only sees all those infinite experiences, all those infinite points of consciousness. God only sees that as one experience. Never ever sees division, only sees unity. And God knows itself through you, through your experiences, right? All that is. To know yourself experientially, that means your experience is reality right now, through these infinite perspectives or viewpoints or vantage points. That's the experience of time. You having a different perspective or a viewpoint of all that you are is the experience of shifting realities or change in that changeless reality. That was covered in yesterday's video. Your experience or your experiencing, your perception or your perceiving is reality. There's no difference between perceiving and perception, right? Inner or outer, the experience or the experiencing. Both cause and effect, inner and outer, Alpha and Omega, first and last. I am the Alpha and Omega, the first and last. It's all one. That subscriber 1, had the higher understanding. I get it. That's what they said. I get it. Of course you get it. You do get it. Then level 5. So you have level 1, that isness, that great absolute, the great I am, that self-aware intelligence that's only aware of itself, nothing outside of it. There's no other, it's only one cause, one source, one reality. And then there's the I am awareness. Level 6, you being aware as that one source. To God to know itself experientially through you. Then there's level 5, you as the Son of Man. There's you as the Son of God, right? And then you as the Son of Man. That physical experience, the 3D world personality, the physical experience. You being aware of yourself as I am awareness. That's your self-concept. Your self-concept is reality. Who do you say you are? As that I am awareness, as the Son of God. How are you seeing yourself? How are you defining yourself and reality? In other words, how are you experiencing yourself? Like God, remember that consciousness only experiences itself. Your experience of reality is reality. That means your self-concept, your experience of yourself is reality. It's your story. Right? Your experience of your awareness is your story, the story you're telling. What Neville Goddard talks about inner speech. The story that you're telling who you are every day. That's why I and the Father are one in John 10:13 now has a greater meaning. Means that the infinite experiences as I am awareness are one experience. They're one awareness. Remember, you're as awareness. There's infinite points of awareness, infinite points of being. But all those infinite points of being are one. God only sees that as one awareness, one experience. All those experiences that you have, all the infinite versions of you are seen as one awareness. That's what Jesus meant when he said, I and the Father are one. In other words, it's one source, one experience, one awareness, having infinite experiences of being that one awareness. Do you see it? One awareness, one God knowing itself. God, the Father, source, pure awareness, only knows it as one experience. That's the great I am. That's what the I am that I am. That's what God said to Moses. That's what God meant. One experience, one awareness. But there are infinite experiences within that awareness. That's how God knows itself, but God only sees it as one experience. Do you see it? So my Father is greater than I. The meaning is that awareness of being, that pure awareness is always greater. That one experience is greater than all of the infinite experiences within it. Wow. Do you see that? That's powerful. There's no reality apart or outside of your experience of it. That's why your experience is both cause and effect. There's only one. One 3D world, one experience, one reality. In other words, one 3D world experience, right? Infinite worlds, infinite realities, but they're all one experience. You as source, you as all that is, but you have infinite viewpoints of it. That's what we mean by infinite versions of you or infinite 3D worlds or infinite realities. They're all seen as one experience, but it's all you. It's all that multidimensional you. There's never, ever a separation from it. So your experience right now determines your entire life experience as source, as that one reality. That's powerful. So if cause equals effect, or my experience is reality, how do I cause then, or create or manifest what I want and desire? That's your question. If that's all true, then how do I create my experience? By being it, by choosing how to experience reality. Create your experience of reality because it is reality. Choose who you are. Who are you? What's your relationship to the world? Because that creates your entire experience. That's why Jesus asked, what do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And then he presses his disciples as they go off on a tangent. John the Baptist, Elijah, one of the prophets. But who do you say I am? In other words, what are you assuming? As the Son of God, as the Son of Man, as the Son of God in the physical experience as the Son of Man, what are you declaring as your experience? Because that's your reality, right? What are you assuming? The law of assumption is reality. That's what the power of the law of assumption. Who are you assuming? What's your self-concept? What are you aware of as your experience of reality? Because that is your entire reality. That is reality, your experience of it. Your I am story, the one and only reality. What's your story? The physical 3D world is defined, created, and experienced as you and by you. Your assumptions of who you are. Do you see? You'll never look at the 3D world the same again because it's not outside of you. We talk about the shadow, that it's a mirror, that it's a perfect reflection of you. But it's not even that. It's not outside of you at all. It's a dream within you, within who you really are. And you define and create it all. This is powerful. That's the power and the paradox that I've talked about many times of the law of assumption that Neville Goddard teaches. Right? The power is who and what you assume you are, your reality. You become it and occupy it in the assumption of it. That's the power of assumption. Who you assume you are. That's why Jesus asked the question. And that becomes your entire life experience. So your experience is reality. So if you have an assumption that you're creating things in time, that you're waiting for things in time, that there's a bridge of incidents outside of you, right? Neville Goddard talks about the bridge of incidents, but remember, the bridge of incidents is within you. It's not outside of you. It's not some physical bridge that happens outside of you. Everything, as you declare who you are, as you assume it, everything that looks to be happening or appearing in 3D reality is the bridge, is everything unfolding, is you unfolding as that new reality. You're not waiting for it. That's it. It's unfolding. And remember, 3D reality, it's always unfolding. That's what change is. It's always changing. It's always changing into what you want when you start looking at it that way. Now you're not waiting. You're seeing reality as you would like it to be, not as you believe it appears to be outside of you. That's big. The paradox is that every time you look for your desire, every time you wait for it to come in, divine timing, or you look for signs or look for evidence, you create the experience of not being who you desire to be or occupying the reality you want. And your experience of reality is reality. So you're in an experience where you're waiting for it, where it comes in some nebulous divine timing, where you're looking for signs to see if it's coming yet. Right? You create that. The real physical world, this is what Neville Goddard says, is actually only an assumptive world. In other words, it's based on your assumptions of who you are. Right? What appears to be solid reality is actually the result of expectations or assumptions. Or in other words, what you experience as reality. Your experience is reality. What you assume, that is your reality right now. Wow, that's powerful. So there's no reality out there apart from your experience of it. Wow, your story and assumptions of who you are in the world that appears to surround you is all your experience, all of it. There's no reality out there or apart from your experience of it. Your story and assumptions of who you are in the world that appears to surround you is all of that is your experience. It's not outside of you. What you see, or in other words, experience when you look at something, depends not so much on what is there as on the assumption that you make when you look. Neville Goddard. Do you hear it? It doesn't depend on what's there. You're putting it there. Your experience of it is reality, right? Wow, that's powerful. Not so much on what is there, but on the assumption you make when you look. To assume you're already that which you desire to be, and your wish is already fulfilled, is to experience it right now. That assumption, you're not waiting, it's unfolding from within you. It's the only reality. That the appearances are always changing and unfolding into what I want and desire. Do you see it? Now you got it, that the appearances are not outside of you, that they're unfolding and they're always unfolding. They're always changing. Reality is always unfolding within you. It doesn't unfold in the future. It unfolds right now. And you experience that unfolding of all that is, all that you are, and that change in the changeless as an experience of time. That's how you make sense of it. That's how you make sense of shifting realities. But time is not a thing, it's an experience. And you choose that experience right now. When you choose only fulfillment, fulfillment becomes your experience of reality. And that must be what's reflected or projected as your 3D experience. Nothing unfolds out there. It unfolds from within your experience of it. It doesn't unfold out there. So even the idea of unfolding, where you put the unfolding out there, you put the bridge of incidents out there, you put everything out there, there's nothing out there, right? Nothing unfolds out there. It unfolds from within you, your experience of it. When you tell the story, the inner speech, and assume you are the new identity and version of you, when you tell the story of who you are, right? When that inner talking, that inner assumption that I am that person I desire to be right now, and I'm going to see everything through that assumption, through that identity. Every person, every event, every condition, every physical experience is your new reality unfolding, no matter what it appears to look like. That's why Jesus said, judge not according to appearances. Because those appearances are changing into what you want. They are what you want. It's not that, again, he's not saying that you shouldn't, as in that's not a good thing. He's saying that you can't judge those appearances because they're everything you want. They're not, nothing is as it appears to be. It is as you appear to be. Who you are. Right? There's no beginning or end. There's just the experiencing now. Do you see it? That's why Jesus said, I am the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega. It's always unfolding, meaning there's no end to it. There's no beginning to it. There's no middle. It's just unfolding of reality. All of it is the bridge of incidents. There's your vertical again. So subscriber 1 was speaking from the vertical. I get it. That my experience is reality right now. That I create the past right now and I create the future me right now. I create all versions of me right now. They're all ideas. There's no time, so who I'm being right now creates everything. Do you see it? That physical experience. There's the I am. It all unfolds now within you. There's your I am awareness. There's who you really are. As the Son of God, the Son of Man having that experience, your self-concept, then becomes some physical experience. But that's happening right now. The physical experience is always unfolding. It's always happening. There's no separation. You see it? There's no separation between I am, between your identity as the Son of God, the Son of Man, and your physical experience, that solid, what you believe is that solid experience. And you're creating everything, your past, present, and future, all identities of you created from this, who you're deciding who you are right now. That's powerful. We've shown that before. There's only one cause, one source, one reality, I am. One awareness, one experience, and one story. That's why in Scripture it says, before Abraham, I am. When Jesus said, before Abraham, I am. In other words, I'm everything. Right now, I'm that one awareness, that one experience, that one reality. How you experience this one reality, you as source, is determined only by your story. Do you see it? Before Abraham is I am. After that is your story. Right? And the Bible goes through all of these stories, all of these states of consciousness. Right? It's your assumptions, your awareness of who and what you're being right now. Nothing happens in time. It's experienced as time. Nothing happens in time. It's all happened or happening. It's all you. It's all your story. Your experience, your I am story is the only reality. Always tell it how you would like it to be. Then that must be your experience right now. Not what you believe it to be by the appearances, but how you would like it to be, and that must be your experiences. Appearances and conditions in the world they don't create your experience of reality. This is what we believe. Those appearances, those conditions, that world that appears outside of you doesn't create your experience of reality. Your experience as source creates the appearances, the conditions in the world. Wow. Do you see it? That's the difference. Believing that there's a world out there that you're experiencing it, and that world creates your experience, or those appearances or the people around you determine your experience. You determine your experience, and that creates the world around you, because your experience is the only reality. That's big. After this, you'll never look at the 3D. After this, you'll never look at 3D reality the same ever again. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and for being part of our membership channel this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Coast Standard Time. I'm going to be coming to you live with our third live event of the year, right here from the studios of Be Something Wonderful. We're going to broadcast on the membership channel and talk about questions and topics that you've been sending to us at info@besomethingwonderful.com. Keep your questions and topics coming to info, and I'll also answer questions on the chat during the live event. Our third live event of the year, our 12th live event in all. Join us if you're a member. Join us. If you're not a member, check it out. There's a link below. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, we'll see you soon.